It was good to take a break yesterday. It's good to take a break all the time. Yeah, but I was getting really lost in the logic at the end of the day yesterday, with Gemini, and Gemini being like, today Gemini was, I guess he needed a bit of a break as well, because like both of us were able to kind of got a couple of wins in today. Got the sign up flow done, got the login flow done. Yeah, all the sign-ups, so the parental consent stuff, because it's, the app's for everyone, but essentially I want young kids using it to help set them up for learning how to set goals for their music practice that they can achieve and see the results from and track that. And so I'm need to make sure that the privacy policy and all parental consent stuff is all in check. I feel like I've done that, got more. So that's like a bunch of wins and a big win there, which feels good. And I have to kind of remind myself often, because like the AI just keeps going. It's like one thing done, okay, the next thing. I'm just like, one thing done, and I got to tell myself, yeah, amazing, like I did the thing, awesome. And just like have just a small moment, like I just did the thing that I've just been like trying to get done since ages. And the AI, even though sometimes it's like, wow, yeah, da 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 da, some penguin emojis and stuff, because my app's to do with penguins. It's not the same as me myself just taking a step, being like, I just did that thing. Okay, next thing. It just, because otherwise it's just, some days it just feels like endless. Like, I've printed out so many different workflows for this from the get-go, and I've got them all like all here. And yeah, it's like that's been the process for me. So yeah, that'll be interesting to, I don't know if it makes sense. That would maybe be too chaotic, but maybe it makes sense to, at the end, once I've gone through this whole process, to compile all of the workflows and all of the documents that I've created with the different AIs, predominantly Gemini, Grok, and Claude, put them all together and see what document comes out of all of that. That might be, at least for me, would be interesting. Anyway, just to have one document instead of 10,000. But no, it was good. I came back after a break. I was able to kind of step back and look at all this logic I was trying to do to set up the sign-in flow, because Gemini was like, oh, you're going to have a second page for the email. And apparently, because I will ask often, like, what would Steve Jobs do? How would he do that? And Gemini's like, yeah, Steve Jobs would definitely do it like that, and this, and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, fine, we do the Steve Jobs thing. The Steve Jobs, Gemini's version of Steve Jobs way. And that's the route we were on yesterday, and apparently. And but I just woke up this morning and had kind of, rethought. I'm just like, what, actually, and just looking at what other people do as well, it's really helpful. And then I just was like, we don't need those 2 check boxes. We don't need all this other like blah 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 on there, which Gemini has like convinced me that I had to do. So even though that was a whole bunch of work, and like at least a couple of days of work that I just deleted in a second today, that simplified the whole flow, made it so much clearer and also easier to implement. And then I was able to get a win, big tick, quite early on today in my day working on the app. So that felt really good. And I'm also just to say this, it's nice to just remind myself, like, I did that, I got it done, I'm on to the next thing now. It wasn't all completely wins today. There was another build fail, but I'm not super surprised, and I think it's to do with those previous 2 bugs. It's kind of, things are a little bit unstable, and I guess I had thought, because the 2 bugs had disappeared, but looking at what other people's experiences are, currently still with these custom functions in FlutterFlow, what I'm using to build the app, that it's still unstable, and I think it just makes sense if I'm able to do that with the AI's help. Grok has assured me that he's got a backup plan, so give it a whirl, Grok. We'll see, but I'm like I'll just be watching for that rabbit, and okay, there's the rabbit hole, and just let Grok go down there a bit, or maybe Gemini got another one over there, and then maybe if all's like kind of going to shit, then I'll be like, hey Claude, man, like these cats are telling me things, telling me stories, what do you think about that? We'll see how that goes. But just now there's the last task to do, the last thing that I did for today with Gemini. Again, Gemini's the one that I'm using the most right at the moment, even though Grok has been my guy the whole way through. There's just standing on the sidelines for the moment, and Claude I just find is way too forgetful, and I can't continue the stories with him so far, and that was a bit stressful earlier on, even though what a lot of the replies I get from him were very, very helpful. Just that lack of consistency, was really disturbing my flow of going forward with things. So I just keep him as a helper, just to check just to see what his opinion is of what the other guys are telling me sometimes. So the last task that I did with Gemini this evening before shutting up shop was to work out another list of what needs to be done for the time that it's ready for me to put it onto the App Store and to the Google Store for the initial round of private testing, which I decided, for sure, I'm just going to do that with friends and family, but just like 4 people that are keen for doing it, or 3. I've definitely got at least 4. But point is like small number, so that if it crashes or burns or things don't make any sense, because this is all I'm just been in here for months, working on this thing, and I haven't got any feedback from anyone except for from 3 AIs. Let's call it 4 because ChatGPT. So I'm very curious to see if it makes sense to other people, but I think so, because I'm I've got a lot of many years of experience of teaching music to people of all age groups and all levels, and the idea for the app came from me being as a teacher, and I ask students, sometimes the parents be like, oh, what can I do to help my kids practice more? And I go off what I found useful as a kid when I was practicing. Actually, that, to be honest, I don't think we even had that. But I think, anyway, scrap that. I made that up. I just often find, just giving them something that they can track so that the kid can see, I did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, didn't do Friday practice, and have stickers in there and put them on the chart. Put that on the wall in your bedroom, or somewhere that you're going to see it all the time, as a reminder of 1, what you've done, and 2, what you haven't done, or 3, what you've achieved, or what was easy, and what, and you can just see it progress like that. But I'm not seeing all my students' bedrooms. Like at Corona, I saw them a bit, but you don't know what's on all of the walls. But I would say, of all the kids that I've suggested to do that to, maybe one of them has done that. So the idea has kind of come out of that, I thought, well, this could be useful and helpful. So I do feel like it will make sense to other people, but that's still I haven't put that to the test. So I'm looking forward to I'm really looking forward to the point where I get to I'm really looking forward to the point, to getting to the point when I get to test it and get people's feedback, like real people. AIs are great, but yeah, they're not human yet. So yeah, so that's it's feeling positive. The to-do list is feeling more yes, I mean, it's funny because it's like sometimes like the to-do list, like I'm like, oh, there's just like 2 things to do, but then 2 things become 5 things, become 10 things. But I got 10 things on the list now. I kind of like chunked them in to being 10, and yeah, see how hopefully it stays at 10. But if it has to be more, this again just part of the process that I'm learning, and yeah, so that's yeah, it's coming together, which is, it just feels really remarkable. Just, you know, I had an idea in my head a few months ago, and now I almost have a thing that I can hand to people as this tangible thing that's come out of here. And like, here you go, try this out. This was in my brain. What do you think about my brain? This bit that came out of my brain. Yeah, so looking forward, and yeah, onwards and upwards.